Welcome to Daughter Arise. My name is Yvonne and this channel is all about talking to you about things to do with childhood sexual abuse. On this channel I share things to do with my experience, things I learned from my journey. Also I share news stories and add commentary to them. And from time to time I also interview survivors and their supporters to raise awareness of this childhood trauma. So if this is the type of content that you're looking for, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of any new uploads. And if you like the content, then please hit the thumbs up button. So today I want to talk to you in this video about the courage to bounce back. I was thinking about this topic this week, especially after I went and did a talk at the University of West London to their social work students about resilience, what it is and what that looks like in action. And inspired by that talk, today I wanted to share with you some things about my own journey of having resilience in the face of really tough circumstances. So as you know, on this channel I have shared things to do with my story about childhood sexual abuse and how it affected my life. It affected my life in many different ways over the years. And as I shared on other videos, it has been a 25-year journey to get to where I am today. In my last video that I did, my last face-to-face video with you, I explained to you that now I'm living a life that I think that I probably always was meant to live. But it was a process to get there. It was very challenging and there were many days during the early years that I thought that I would never make it to be through to today. I have gone through many different tough and trying life situations. Not only have I gone through childhood sexual abuse, I battled with depression for over 20 years, which included spells in mental hospitals or hospitals for mental health, also spells on medication. Also as well, I have had to go through very difficult personal circumstances, especially with being estranged from my older daughter, and that is still a very painful and it is an ongoing situation. I've also had challenges in loving and accepting myself in the aftermath of abuse, especially in just accepting me as I am. It's been something that has been very, very difficult. And even though now I'm at a stage where I do like myself, I do love myself, but to really walk in the power and say to myself, I really do love myself, it's something that is continuously a work in progress for me. And also as well in other areas of my life, I've had difficult challenges, especially as an entrepreneur, stepping out nearly 4 years ago to start my own business. I've had really tough financial situations to do with that. And that in itself has been like a baptism of fire, you know, going from traditional employment into working for myself and generating my own income through my skills, talents and experiences. And it's been a process really of transforming habits, changing my mindset, becoming more resourceful and different things like that. So as you can see from the things that I've shared with you, I've had difficult and different challenges over the course of my life. I'm glad to say today I can sit here and talk to you about this. But many times through all those challenges, there were times where I didn't think that I would even get through, especially when I was going through childhood sexual abuse, you know, inside feeling like I was dying and feeling like, you know, life for me was just bleak because I didn't see a way out of the abuse that I was going through. And also in the aftermath of that, having to deal with being ostracized from my family, the pain, the betrayal, all the feelings that come along with, you know, the experience of going through childhood sexual abuse. I'm not afraid to tell you that I spent many years crying. And when I look back over the different situations that I've just shared with you, you know, all the different challenges I've had, one of the things that I realized was continuous throughout all of those situations that got me through was actually my tears. Tears for me provided strength, contrary to what people say, because a lot of people think that when you cry that you are weak. You're a weakling, you need to toughen up. And you know what? I thought that I was a weakling. When I used to cry all the time, I used to see that as a sign of weakness. I used to see it as, well, what is wrong with you? Why can't you stop crying? But I realised now, looking back on all these situations, that actually tears was a protector for me. Tears was a way of being able to release that pressure. In the midst of those times where I felt that I was going to break, when I felt that there was no hope and that I couldn't carry on, tears for me helped me to gather strength to carry on. In having to face so much adversity in my life, it has helped me to become a more resilient person. At the time when I was going through all these difficult and different challenges, I despised and hated the fact that I had to go through them. It was awful. I didn't want to have to face certain things. I didn't want to have to talk about certain things in order to be free from my past. I didn't want to, at times, to have to forgive my family, my father and my mother for the things that had happened to me. But I learned that all of these things were an essential part of me being able to heal, being able to move on, helping me to also to build resilience. And I didn't realise the process at the time, and it's only through coming through the other side of things now, I see things for what they are. There were some things along my journey that helped me to build resilience. Things like gaining support from other people. Throughout different periods of my life, I've been able to have people, not many, support me along my journey, because that's another thing, when you're going through pain and adversity, a lot of people shirk away from that. They don't want to get themselves involved in that. They don't want the burden of somebody else's stress or problems. Maybe that's how they see it. One of the main bits of support that I always recommend on this channel is something that has helped me immensely, is therapy. Therapy for me helped me to be more resilient, because in being able to deal with the things that were challenging and having someone to talk to about those issues, it helped me to look at other ways to be able to deal with it, to look at solutions, to look at, a plan B or something else that would help me to move past whatever trial or test that I was facing. Therapy for me along my journey has been essential to the person that I am today. And I don't feel any way if I was to experience something now that was tough and challenging, even with the success and everything that I've had in overcoming, the things that I have, I don't feel any way about going back to therapy or going back and asking for help, because, I realised that that has been something that has enabled me to be the person that I am, to have that outlet. Another thing that helped me to be resilient is obviously my faith in God. As you know, if you don't know, I am a believer in Jesus Christ. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. And through being born again and being loved and accepted by Jesus, this has helped me immensely. As a matter of fact, it's been the foundation. My relationship with God has been the foundation to which everything else has been able to be built on. Being able to receive therapy, being able to deal with difficult situations and move past them. All these different things, if it wasn't for Christ, I don't know if I would have been able to have moved past the things the way I have been able to. And that has been essential to me. My faith is centered to who I am. It's part of my identity. It is my identity. And also as well, praying has been something that has been really important in my life. Praying to God and talking to him like a friend about the things that I was going through, and just even coming before him actually and just crying. Sometimes there'd be no words to say, but God already knew the things that I had gone through, and he made a way for me to get through them. Another thing that helped me to have the courage to bounce back and build resilience is exposing myself to new and different situations. Exposing myself to things that I didn't think that I could do, or things that I, found difficult, really did help me to become more resilient. Sometimes, when you're going through the same things, it doesn't really grow you or strengthen you. One of the things that I did share with the social work students when I gave my talk is that building resistance is like building up new muscles. When you go to the gym or you do exercise and you use muscles that you haven't used for a while, the next day, oh my gosh, it just feels like you can't move. I've gone through that so many times, especially like doing things like sit-ups. You know, you just feel the next day, oh my gosh, what have I done? You know, it feels painful, it's sore, you can hardly move. And it's similar as well in the process of resilience, because when you're going through really painful situations, really hard situations, you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it through. This is too painful. My heart is breaking. I don't think I'll ever recover from this. Sometimes you cry your way through it. Sometimes you talk your way through it. But it's a process and you end up getting through it. And that is what resilience is like. I think one of the best things that I have gained from becoming a more resilient person is the fact that I discovered purpose through my pain. So the things that were meant to break me, the things that were meant to leave me devastated and, you know, just totally unable to, you know, live life after, has become central to my purpose. When I first wrote my book, Daughter Arise, which is 11 years old now, I was only writing ever to let out my pain, to, you know, give voice to my experience, because up until that point, for a long period of my life, people had used my dysfunction, my broken background, all different kinds of circumstances that were negative about me to say that I wasn't a valid person, that the things that I had to talk about weren't even valid. And when I wrote my book, Daughter Arise, it really was about just having a voice, voicing things from my perspective, giving voice to my journey and just putting it out there. That's what it was all about. But during that whole process, when that book came out, I found that there were other survivors, other people like me that had gone through childhood sexual abuse, colleagues, friends, strangers who had all gone through this experience, that said that my story inspired them, how it empowered and encouraged them. So many people that had experienced sexual abuse were able to open up for the first time. And I realised actually this was the purpose of my pain. Now, I'm not saying that I'm glad that it happened to me or that God, you know, made it happen to me, because at the end of the day, God gave everybody free will. People are going to choose to do good or bad. That is just, you know, the good and bad of human nature. But what I'm saying is that out of those bad and broken experiences, I've been able to use them to empower and help other people. What was meant for bad has been used for good. And there's nothing more rewarding actually than to see other survivors, you know, taking those first steps in their journey to healing and, you know, trying to face the things that they once didn't think that they had the courage to face. My journey of resilience has involved so many different things. You know, it's involved me learning about myself. It's involved learning from others, learning from my experiences, embracing my faults, learning from my mistakes, all the different things that I've gone through, you know, going through all the challenges and adversity that I've had to face has helped me to become a better person, has helped me to change aspects of my life that didn't work. And those benefits have not only been felt for me, they've been felt for my family. I'm really thankful for that. So I'm sure there are always going to be challenges for me and different tests and trials that I'm going to have to face going forward in life. And, you know, one of the things that I know about life is that as long as there's life, there's always going to be different things that each of us have to go through. And I just want to encourage you today, through the things that I've shared with you about my journey, having the courage to bounce back in building resilience, is that, you know, you are stronger than you think. One of the most difficult things a child ever has to go through is any form of abuse. And to go through childhood sexual abuse and to deal with all the kind of consequences and ramifications it leaves behind for your life is absolutely devastating. I know how devastating it is. I know that my journey took me 20 something years, 25 years to get to this point today. But I want to encourage you to keep pushing on. I want to encourage you, if you're somebody who feels like you're weak and you're not going to be able to make it through, be encouraged by what I've shared with you. Also as well, you know that you have enough strength to hold on for today. That is one of the key things that I learned on my journey of going through difficult things, is that you only have to take it one step at a time. Don't beat yourself up. Don't look on, you know, the bigger picture. Look at what can help you to get through today. Look at what can give you strength to get through today. The fact that you are here watching this video, maybe at the beginning of the year, you didn't even think you were going to even get through the month, let alone be at this point in December 2021, you need to give yourself a pat on the back. You need to encourage yourself and say, actually, you know, the things that I didn't think I was going to get through a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, I have, because I'm still here. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. I want to encourage you to keep on. Don't give up on yourself. Find support. Find things that are going to help you to come through your difficulties and challenges. So that is it for this video. If I don't see you again in another video before Christmas, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I pray that whatever it is that you do in this season, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, is something that is going to bring you joy, something that is going to bring you peace. Just try and take care of yourself, and I will see you on the other side of the new year. Take care.